Oh, and no, she's supposed to be here. I'm not gonna decide until she comes. Okay, very good.
All right. Calling the meeting to order at 6:30 on May 15th, 2025. We have no citizen comments, so we're going to go to agenda items. Consider approval of the minutes for April 24th meeting and take appropriate action.
I make a motion to accept them as posted.
A second.
I will second.
Thank you. Receive historical park quarterly report, second order. Henry.
You should have in your kits this is for the second quarter report. So this covers year to date from October of 2024 through March of 2025. Our year-to-date revenue totals for the second quarter of this fiscal year have increased by 46% compared to last year. For last year, the fiscal year 23-24 year-to-date revenue was $95,142. And this year, through the second quarter year-to-date was $138,489, an increase of just over $43,000. The second quarter so that was for year-to-date. Just the second quarter saw an overall revenue increase of 157%. So the second quarter of last year was a little over $13,000, and the second quarter of this fiscal year was just over $34,000, an increase of over $20,000. Some of the highlights of the programs that we offered from January through March were our Mad Hatter Tea, which was completely sold out. That brought in $4,350. We did 3 Girl Scout workshops, a spring break camp, which was a Stitch and Style spring break camp. We had school tours, and we also had 3 rentals. And speaking of rentals, so the year-to-date second quarter rental revenue for this fiscal year was just over $13,000 compared to just over $5,500 for the second quarter of fiscal last year, an increase of 133% or just shy of $7,500. We had 3 rentals, which consisted of a wedding, a bridal shower, and a 2-day corporate meeting. That was a complete buyout of the historical park. So it was with us and Venue 1842. It was a company that came in for a corporate retreat, and they used the venue, and then they wanted the exclusive use of the historical park for 2 days. So that was really nice. We also had 12 hotel rooms that were reserved under the hotel occupancy tax that generated just over $1,700. Our other revenue consists of everything but rentals. So for that, the second quarter of this fiscal year saw just over $125,000 in other revenue compared to a little over $89,000 in the second quarter of last fiscal year. So showing an increase of 40% or just over $35,000. The revenue, as I mentioned before, increases due to our successful programs, which included the Mad Hatter Tea, the Girl Scout workshops, the school tours, and the Stitch and Style spring break. Our expenses kind of leveled out. We had a decrease of 5% or just over $10,000 for the second quarter of this fiscal year. So this fiscal year, we had $184,709 in expenditures compared to $195,446 in second quarter of last year. However, the year-to-date totals increased by 5%. So we had a decrease during the quarter, but a 5% increase overall. So it kind of balanced itself out. But that 5% increase was a little over $19,000 in expenses for this year at total of $19,000 difference, but our expenditures came in for year to date for this quarter, $403,357 compared to year to date last year of $384,140. We had our normal expenses that were incurred with the Mad Hatter Tea and our grounds maintenance with our mowing contracts. We also had a few repairs to the roof here of the Dotson house. We purchased a new ice maker for the catering kitchen, a new chainsaw, along with we also had some tree removal due to some wind damage. The remaining were general expenses related to personnel, salary, benefits, and program supplies and whatnot. So in summary, the overall revenue for the second quarter of fiscal year 24-25 came in with a substantial 157% increase. Other revenue had a 143% increase, and rental revenue increased by 414% and brought in a little over $1,700 in hotel rooms for the hotel occupancy tax fund. Our visitation, engagement, and activation continued to rise, and we are seeing more visitors to the historical park. For this quarter, we had a 54% increase in visitors compared to the same quarter last year, even though historically this is our slowest time, or this quarter from January through March was our slowest time of the year. Rounding out that second quarter, expenditures saw a 5% decrease over last year as we completed repair projects, as I mentioned, on the Dodson House roof, that new ice maker in the catering kitchen, new chainsaw, and a tree removal due to damage. All of the other expenses were standard operational costs. Any questions?
Good job. Good job.
I have a question, and probably a dumb question that I probably should have asked a long time ago. The overall monthly revenue, is that net or gross?
That is our net.
Okay.
Alright.
Any questions? Any other questions? Oh, hard to work.
We're not so busy.
Yeah. Alright. Receive an update on the historical park current projects, events, and upcoming activities.
Okay, that one's also me. So we have this Saturday is our local field coffee with a cop and friends. So if you are around on Saturday between 9 and 11, we'll have in our service station, we're doing our pop-up coffee shop. And with the Farmers Branch Police Department will be out. We'll have coffee and baked goods for sale, which all that money is going to be benefiting the Friends of the Historical Park. And it should be beautiful weather and have a grand old time. We also have our passive programming coming up. The Come Fly a Kite is on select Sundays. So the next one is this Sunday, May 18th. Paint the Rocks is on select Saturdays. That's the one where we have the over here at Mary's Garden, the rocks that you can paint. All the supplies are provided. The next one is Saturday, June 14th. Our two Archella summer camps are both sold out. One is June 16th to the 20th, the other was June 23rd to the 27th. So those are completely full. The Independence Day celebration is coming up on Thursday, July 3rd. You have a volunteer sign-up sheet that I will send around. We are doing chair rentals for the Friends, benefiting them. So as we do every year, we'll have the booth set up behind the service station where people can come and rent chairs for the evening. And all proceeds go back to the Friends. The celebration is Thursday, July 3rd from 6:30 to 10. And you should be getting in your sponsor water bill. There's firecracker pass for residents and everything. We also will have them out here, but select areas where you need to pick up some. So it's free entry for residents. The Girls Make History Camp, we have 10 spots still available for that one. It's July 14th through 18th. So that should be a lot of fun this year. I'm helping out with that. So I'm really looking forward to working with the girls and having a lot of fun. Our much anticipated Christmas tea reservations go on sale Monday, August 11th. And last year it did sell out in one day.
I need to put that on my calendar.
Yes, Monday, August 11th at 8 a.m. was when they go on sale. Him and I are here answering the phone, so.
Will this one accommodate more people?
It will. We are moving to venue 1842, so we will, it will be the first and second Saturday in December, December 6th at 11 a.m. and December 13th at 11 a.m. We're doing one seating because we'll be able to accommodate more people. So instead, when we had it in here, we had two different seatings. This year, we're trying to make a little bit more condensed and be able to do, but still over those 2 weekends. And then, of course, that December 6th, that first Saturday, later that evening is the Christmas Carnival that's out here as well. So, again, August 11th, those will go on sale. So we're really looking forward to being there in the venue. We had Mad Hatter Tea in there, so that gave us a really good idea of how everything will work, and we're excited to be able to showcase the venue. We also brought back our classic car show. We're excited that's gonna be on Saturday, September 27th from 10 to 2. And we'll have our local fuel pop-up coffee shop with that. It is free for participants to come, free for the public. The only fee is if you have a classic car entry, it's $25. And there are awards that are given out at 1 p.m. The show itself is from 10 to 2. And we'll have, as I mentioned, the local fuel will have coffee and snacks and things for sale. But that's a lot of fun. It's I'm able to hand out all the awards and everything for the different classic cars. Our holiday hours, we will be closed for Memorial Day on Monday, May 26th. Closed on Independence Day, Friday, July 4th, and Labor Day, Monday, September 1st. Other than that, we are here. Other things going on, we did have the, City Council had the Sunset Review Work and Board Workshop this past Tuesday. And Bonnie and I attended that to represent the Historical Park Board and the Arts and Culture Committee. And it was, I believe they were recorded and everything, so it was very interesting first time I've ever participated and watched and everything, but Historical Park was the first to be reviewed, and it was unanimous that you guys are amazing and they wanted to continue. And so there was no question about sunsetting it. With the packet that was provided, each board liaison submitted your highlights for the last 5 years, because remember the sunset review, all boards are reviewed every year ending in a 0 and 5. So our last one was in 2020. So I submitted pretty much all of our accomplishments from 2020 on, and it was broken down from board accomplishments, Keenan Cemetery Subcommittee, Friends of the Historical Park, the Witness to History Awards that were given, and then the awards that the Historical Park has received. So, and then they also had in there the last board update that Missy gave, so they were able to review all of that. So it was really nice to be able to, show from board accomplishments from 2020. We have where the board completed the strategic plan, fundraising for Day of the Dead, the Mad Hatter Teas and adult head hunts, all the way through the grand opening of the venue. Keenan Cemetery highlighting all the work that's been done out there, from the subcommittee being formed to date. We have placed 72 name unknown markers, and those have been placed by both Boy Scout troops and a few Girl Scout troops, as well as the Wreaths Across America ceremony that's now done every year. Over $15,000 in funds have been raised through Friends of the Historical Park since 2020. So that's with the chair rentals from Independence Day, from Bluegrass, from other, at Christmas, we did the popcorn sales and all. I think Teresa helped with that when we did year before last at, in front of the general store. So we highlighted Witness to History Awards, and I was gonna let everyone know that the 2023 recipient, Sammy Perry, she unfortunately has passed away. So that was glad we were able to honor her for such a wonderful lady and contributor to the community and everything. So all of that was turned in, and council reviewed it and everything. So they absolutely love everything everyone's doing. So we're good for another 5 years. We're talking about the sunset review. That was earlier this week. So as I was telling them, council reviewed, I think it was 5 different boards, and we were the first one, and they love us and want it to continue and are very appreciative of everyone's work and contributions and everything that y'all do. Then they went on to discuss placing for vacant positions for all the different boards. We do have 2 vacant positions on our board. As you know, Elizabeth Villafranca is the newest council member. So she stepped down, and then we just received on May 8th that Van did resign from her position. So we told her that we hope that once she gets to feeling better, that we'd love for her to reapply and join us back on the board, that we will definitely miss her. So council, with the packet and everything, there were 2 applicants that they were the first choice, and then 1 applicant that was the second. So council did review those and made their nominations. And so looks like we'll be getting 2 members. They will not make it official until they vote on June 17th. So,
Okay.
but it looks like we will, those 2 positions look like they will be, filled.
One
So-
is a retired history teacher.
Oh, awesome.
And the other one actually used to be a steward out here, so,
Yeah.
kind of exciting if all that goes through, but it's not official until June 17th, council will vote, but,
And Van's doing okay.
she's doing okay. She, sent a letter, we'd sent a get well card, and her birthday was earlier this month, so she sent a very nice email thanking everyone for it and said that, looks like it'll be a few more months until she's, back 100%, but is doing much better. So just very appreciative of everyone's kind words and wishes and everything. So, we're sending her the best.
Not that it matters, but the two new people, will they be alternates? Do they fill the spots that were vacated in that position? Like, how does that work within the board?
The two vacant spots are alternate
Okay.
positions. I'm not sure which will go in what spot. That's all council's
Sure.
decision. But they do, what I saw them look at other boards that had some positions that were a vacant place and then, also alternates. Then council decides if they want to move an alternate up to that vacant place or where they want to place people. But for our specific board, I still have.
I was an alternate.
I'm sorry,
So I thought I was an alternate.
thought you were.
But you're a former.
I think you moved up.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I don't know
It
where.
says you are an alternate.
Oh,
Van was in place 6. I had that backwards. I thought it was both alternate, but now that I think about the chart they had up there. So I'm not sure how that's going to, how they're placing everything, if you're moving up or what it is, that will be council's decision.
Okay.
I know.
But
Yeah.
the term, and also, it was just, we turned it all in. Anne, Christian and Missy, your terms were up, but I put in that you guys were interested, so y'all were reassigned. So yeah, you did. We're so happy. So again, that'll all go through the June 17th, the official, terms in the June 30th. We don't have a meeting in July, so our new members will join us in August. Yeah.
And I think you do this already, but in the August meeting, will you kind of lay out where everybody is and where they are in the terms? And because I have no idea if I've been here 2 years or 3 years. I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard to remember.
You don't have to check now, just.
Mm.
August.
You started in 2004. And your term ends in 2006, 26.
Okay.
June.
But yeah, I can have that, because I know it gets kind of confusing of when, because there's some that come in June, there's some that have come in August, so like Teresa's was August of 2023, but yours is through June.
Yeah, see, I
125
started
Tuesdays.
before that, but I think I started as an alternate.
Yes, and
So
alternates,
that makes it even more confusing, but
They-
that's okay.
alternates don't count against your overall.
Got it.
Well,
So
our term-
I started official in June.
Yes, where they start the countdown of
Yeah.
how long you
Say
serve
on.
and everything, so.
You're not gonna say on?
Yeah.
Oh,
I hope to.
okay. Well,
You better not go in there.
she says that in here 225.
Right, this is the old one.
Oh,
You
okay.
just, no, you just got up. Did
I just got updated.
Like right here,
You
mine,
just
I should be, it should be her updated and me
I
not.
say Missy?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sorry,
it
I'm
is,
just
yeah.
saying Teresa,
Okay,
that's my
yeah.
mistake.
Yeah, because I was like,
Christian,
you-
Ann
yeah,
and Teresa, sorry
It's
about that.
okay.
I was looking at you,
I
I
thought it
meant
was
to say
us.
Teresa.
Okay, I was
So
like,
yes, you three, I will update our roster once we have the new members, add them on there and then get everyone's turn. updated.
Perfect.
So
Thank you so
sorry.
much for doing that.
We'll amend the minutes that it's Teresa, Christian and Ann that continued on, and then we'll have 2 new ones. Any questions? I think that was my main.
That's always confusing.
I know, I'm trying to figure out who and where we are is the hardest part.
Yeah, because I came as an alternate, so that didn't count. And I'm like, yeah, but I've been doing it.
Right, yeah, because I started around Christmas time, so but it must have been.
Yeah.
Move her on.
Oh, okay, okay, thank you.
Oh, this one doesn't. I've got the full list that says when it's up, because this is from July of 2024 through June 2026.
Okay.
But then it says how many terms you served.
So the-
I don't have that one in front of me.
Limit is 2 2-year terms in a seat, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
6.
2 2-year terms, and then you step down for a year, and then, but then after that year, you can get back on.
Okay.
And they also discussed, most of the boards, I think all of them have gone to the 7 members, 2 alternate, because some of them, they're trying to make sure all the boards are consistent to make it easier. There were some that had different term limits, and things, so council was trying to get everything, but we were already updated
Yeah.
where we have 7 members and 2 alternates.
Yeah.
And they all decided they wanted to keep it that way,
Yeah.
that 7 and 2. But it's still, our quorum is based off our number of members off that 7, so it's 4.
Right. Right.
So I think that was all that I remembered from the meeting. So it was very interesting. I hadn't been to one of those before, so watching them vote with bingo markers. It
Did
was-
they have any discussion about, combining boards like they were at the very beginning, Terry's?
Nothing was brought up about that. I know before that was a discussion, but right off the bat, it was brought up just how, because like I said, Historical Park was the first one discussed, and just how important and all the boards. So yeah, there was no discussion about
Okay.
combining or
Good.
anything.
That's good.
So yeah, it was a very good meeting. So I know they recorded it and everything. It was interesting. So
All right, discuss agenda items for the future. of
oh yeah, receive update on board members.
Oh, receive an update on board members on the park programs, events and facilities in the City of Farmers Branch.
I went to and don't ask me the official name, it keeps changing, the evaluation committee.
Oh.
They had another one and we mostly did fishing fun. And it was a great meeting. Those meetings were, as I'm gonna say, unconstructed, but we set up where you have homework to do ahead of time. And you turn in like 3 little paragraphs on things and then you get one for the next time. And it's a very interesting meeting. Everyone should come at least once. Yeah. I had only come to fishing fun for about 15 minutes because I couldn't get a real parking spot, and that there's a whole discussion on parking, and then, they do it and, okay, 3 minutes, now we're gonna table that, we're gonna move on, and it's very well done. Yeah,
Do they have, do they meet like monthly or their standard meeting dates?
it's based on activities from
Okay.
Parks and Rec, so they will have one after, that, Memorial Day,
Okay.
and then there's one that I think we're gonna get invited to talk about planning for Veterans Day. That seems to be a big push for the city, so they wanted ideas because they have all been so varied, unique, inside, outside, big, small, and
So you said the next meeting is after Independence Day or Memorial? I think our next thing is probably Independence Day.
I think Independence Day, because we're not really doing anything for Memorial Day as a city. But Squire Park was also the outing for Squire Park. We had our time on it, and the first one got rained out, and now there's a new one, and I think it might have been tonight. Stop and look, think, anyway, but there's 2 meetings on that, so they're really looking for citizen input.
Well, I know I probably missed my opportunity, but I'll put it out there for fishing fun because I have a little girl. We have never been because she refuses to hold a worm. So they should offer an opportunity to rent a pole and do fly fishing, whatever.
Yeah, they
They
did.
gotta advertise that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince her to go and she's afraid. of the
Yeah,
worm.
we had to table after 3 minutes
No, she
because
doesn't wanna look at it. She didn't wanna
we got
see
a
it.
lot of vagrants borrowing the poles that didn't want to return them. And that
Yeah.
was a big, big issue at the end of the day, where the poles ended up.
Oh,
No, that's too bad.
Yeah, so, I only know a little bit about this, but the Texas Game and Hunting people got a donation and gave us 300 poles. And then like 2 or 3 years later, they gave so much, I guess it was after COVID, all the supplies. So they have lots of all that. And they have volunteers that rig them up and give you the extra double bobbins and double worms, because they had people catching 2 fish fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it only catfish?
It's
perch.
It's a little bit of everything. It's what came out of the hatchery for that load.
Yeah.
And it had rained the day before, so they didn't get to dump them out until the day of, yeah. So there was a lot going on, but it was an active, there were so many people here.
A lot of people go to that.
from all over. They had people from Oklahoma
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
that look forward to it and, yeah. And they said that, um, the McDonald's and Nuevo Leon and Coquitos and all the restaurants were so busy and so
Oh,
thankful
good.
that it was a, economic, they had numbers from
Right.
what that looked like. Yeah. So that was good information that I would
That's
have
really
never heard.
important to quantify
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
because it's such a soft, target,
Yeah.
but people quantify it.
Yeah. Well, mine's little, but the rock painting.
Mhm.
So I brought my grandson who turns 13 in a couple weeks, so he'll be a teenager. And the only reason why the only reason why I did it, Mima, is because you wanted to spend the day with me.
Oh,
I said, okay. So then we get here and we're doing it. And he looks at me and he goes, Mima, I thought this was going to be lame, but it's actually fun. It's very calming and I am having a good time. So continue with that.
That's great.
Endorsed by a 13-year-old. I love it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
So this hasn't happened yet, but it happened at 5:30. Elizabeth is being sworn in.
Yeah.
right.
So if we all could go, that would be really nice to support.
May
her.
20th,
Mhm.
5:30.
Tuesday at 5:30, at the council
Yeah.
meeting. She's gonna be sworn in, so that'd be nice to.
Is that something that a 9-year-old could go to, or?
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
beginning, you
absolutely.
you don't have to stay for the whole.
So we
meeting.
could,
You
okay.
could leave right after.
And then the Friends has had a meeting to prep for Coffee with the Cops and get donations of pastries and all so we're buying them so that we have all the ingredients on them.
Yes.
We're not making anything.
Yeah.
Do you need any help Saturday?
Everyone, yes, they want everyone to come.
Yeah, we met with Adrian week
Yeah.
before last. And there is no Friends meeting set yet. We did look at the calendar for some upcoming activities and everything. But getting through Coffee with a Cop, and
Yeah.
they did go yesterday and met Tom over at Sam's and purchased the muffins with our food permits and everything. They like it to be prepackaged. So
But I thought all the Friends board, she said, yes, bring things that are single packaged. So you guys bought everything already?
yeah, we went to Sam's and bought and met.
So we're not
Tom.
buying, you don't think you need more? Cause I think there's like 5 or 6 people on a list to bring like 4 dozen each.
You didn't say anything about that.
I'm pretty
That's
sure.
not the friend. I talked to her about it and she was saying that the women's club is doing something separate, that it might be. Farmers Branch.
Yeah.
She's in that too.
Yeah, cause I said yes, and I'm bringing pastries and she gave me a thumbs up on that.
As long as they are factory sealed,
Yeah,
we're good.
okay.
That's what our
Volunteers, do you need help or just come?
I don't know, I'm on the list, so come,
Okay.
cause I'll need help too.
Okay, I'll come help you.
And we'll all, the staff will be there and help.
It's
them
okay,
with the-
it's 9 to 11,
Yeah, I
so
know.
drink coffee, enjoy the park.
Yeah, it should be beautiful weather.
I'm not playing golf.
Pickleball.
Everything with a luncheon.
Oh.
And.
I can come.
It'll be a lot of fun.
And just so the board knows, I'm working with the Cub Scouts again, so that next week, we get the flags at the cemetery on the Veterans Grave
Excellent.
on Thursday. We're planning for Thursday at 4:00.
And do you need help, or they got it?
To be honest with you, it's usually just my husband and I kind of corralling these Cub Scouts because they get a little wild. The parents or whatever don't really do it. Any help would be
Okay.
appreciated. I will text you and let you know, but it's hard because they're young, they're Cub Scouts.
Mhm.
They don't know the respect for a grave where they walk right on the headstone or
Oh.
whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. And I always go up to them and say, just out of respect, you should not be walking on a headstone. This is sacred, and they get it.
Mhm.
but because they're so little, they don't know upfront.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of chaos. And my husband and I try and reel them in, but any help would be appreciated. So
And that's what day?
22nd.
Thursday, next Thursday, a week from today. Yeah,
Oh.
at 4, but I'll let you know, Teresa, I'll
Okay.
text you and let you know. I'm waiting for her to confirm it
Kingdom.
at Keenan.
All right, discuss agenda items for future historical preservation and preservation board meeting. Anybody?
Yeah, I would love to know about our log cabins and our
Mhm.
master plan and.
There hasn't been any, we just moved over back to Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
So,
Because
can-
I thought we had a bid that was in that they had tabled. No, it hadn't gotten that far.
We don't even have a bid.
What is, okay, if there's something we can do to help all that move along, we'll be more than
I can
glad
put it
to
on the
meet-
agenda and
Yeah.
have Rob.
Yeah.
Update.
excellent.
Like, is there a plan like on when y'all want it back? Or are we just waiting on the master plan? Is there
Sure,
funds for that? Is that the problem?
Yeah, no, if
maybe.
everything goes through, I've got it budgeted for this year. It's just,
Mm.
wait and see if it all gets approved.
Okay, that's probably what it is.
Do we want to talk about in the future, anything of restoring the headstones at Keenan? Like I know we've talked many times about doing a cleaning party
Mhm.
and there are organizations that do, I mean, I've been reading up a lot about that.
And that was one thing we did talk to Adrian about there is, with the Friends group, there's money set aside for memorial that they wanted to move over to Keenan and that would put a nicer, pot to work with. Thing is, we need to, in order to do the top 11, we need to have the funds for all of them for the, restoration company to come out and do that. But,
But I know we talked about doing like a cleaning
Mhm.
party and you know, a company, don't you know an organization like in Plano or something that,
I know the Plano Conservancy, they've done
Yes.
cleaning at theirs.
yes.
I can follow
So
up with
I'm
them.
wondering, yeah, that would be great to do that.
Mhm.
You know what, that'd be a great Boy Scout.
That would
badge
be
or what
a
do
Boy Scout
you-
badge.
badge, not a badge, but a project.
Yeah, not the Cub Scout.
No, no.
I want to make sure because it is a very delicate process.
It is.
And
But what's the highest ranking for a Boy Scout to get their?
Eagle
To
Scout,
get
but
their
also
Eagle Scout.
I did go out to Keenan and I was looking at some of the name unknown spots and, there needs to be a little more attention
Okay.
to detail
Okay.
with that,
Mhm.
that,
Not, okay. Okay.
but there was a question about that, and I think if we get things in place, that might be an option down the road, but,
I think an Eagle Scout would probably give a little bit more attention to it than a Boy Scout.
Well, the Eagle Scouts
Is
were
it
the
the-
ones who did the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, not all of them are perfect, but then
But yeah,
You
the
get-
Eagle project could
you
be
get what you pay for. Was
organizing the cleaning party.
Yeah, yes, yes.
but if it was something more organized adults, and I think there's a way we can make it a win-win, and
I think
just
so
wanna,
too.
I would put a little more thought into
Yes.
all of that,
Yes.
but. Okay.
I'm just putting it out there, and this might be a terrible idea, but is there anything that we can do as a board to help with that marsh cemetery on Templeton Trails?
It does not belong to us.
Yeah, it does not.
And the city has, well, you probably know more than I, the city's been asked to take it over, but there's a lot to happen and there's a lot of
There is
money
a lot
needed.
to yes, there's a
And
lot
so
to
it
happen.
doesn't
There's a
belong
lot
to
of
us.
money that needs, that would need to go into it.
Yeah.
And at one point in time, I hate to say this because we're on the record, but John Land was for it. I'm not sure the current mayor is. I don't know. I have not personally talked to him about it, if he is
Well, it's
for
literally his backyard.
absorbing that. But I think because it is, historical, I think the city should.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There is
Acquire.
anything that we can do to like help, I mean, to
I don't know, we would
rally
probably,
for that
I
project.
Maybe
would
that-
think
put it
that
on
we
the
would have to
subcommittee.
talk to,
Who
well,
owns that,
the what?
the cemetery? Why is it not?
Well, so the cemetery is actually still owned by a member of the Marsh family. And she is aging and has been asking for years to transfer it to the city.
Oh, we just
And-
have to upkeep it.
And it's exactly,
They don't.
When it's falling
Money.
into disrepair.
it is,
Now.
it is. So,
Isn't that the one that the fence has come down?
Yes.
yes, we would have to put a fence up. We would have to, kind of like the Keenan, you would have to protect it. And it's gonna take money, unfortunately. But, so if this member passes away, I don't know what's gonna happen to it. It's just gonna probably disappear.
Well, cemeteries are protected. I mean, they
Yeah.
can't,
Can't pick it up.
I-
They
Well,
can't build
it-
over it.
No, they can't build over it. That has been done, but they can't build over it. But it's gonna fall into
Who is
disrepair and no one's
right.
even,
Yeah,
in
who is
20 years,
Nothing
no one's
active
gonna
stream.
know that it's even there.
Is there a relative of the is this the last Marsh?
It's the yeah, it's the
The
last,
last person.
as,
living person.
from my understanding, it is, she has, because it's real property, so we
Right.
have deed to it.
Yeah.
And she has it and wants to transfer it to the city.
Mm-hmm.
And the city is in flux about acquiring it, let's say.
So
So,
does the subcommittee still meet regularly?
no,
No,
we haven't met.
but it's still in existence, correct? As part of
It
the.
is.
for
Minus,
report to
minus
council.
Harold.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Harold passed
passed
away.
away, yeah.
Who is on that subcommittee?
It was me, Marge, yeah. Johannes and, what's his name?
Ed Williams.
Ed Williams.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Ed's pretty old.
Huh?
It's not that.
Ed's not that, he's like my age.
Oh. Now, I must have thinking of his dad.
What?
Oh, maybe I'm
Oh,
thinking
you
of
were
his
thinking of
dad.
his dad. No, Ed's like my age. He's
Yeah.
not that old.
No,
I mean, he's old, but
No.
not that old.
no.
Could we make it a future agenda item to talk about
I think we should.
reconvening the subcommittee and then the goals
I
of the
think we
subcommittee
should.
and potentially
I
discussing the
would
Marsh
love to
Cemetery?
Require that, but it's not
big
a
is it?
decision. It's
It's-
not very
it's-
big.
Acre.
Quarter of a city block.
It's not very.
It's very
big.
small.
It-
It's probably one house lot and like
Yeah.
a small house lot.
It's not big. The
I
problem
live
is,
right there. I could send pictures.
it
yeah.
has not
It's falling
seen
into,
any care in a long, long time.
it's clearly falling into this.
Yes,
So does that go under code enforcement?
no,
No,
no, because it's, well,
somebody owns it and.
Yeah.
well,
if you're-
somebody owns
And I would say
it.
they mow the lawn, the lawn is
Yeah.
mowed, so
Yeah.
that would probably be the one code
Yeah.
that it would go to,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
do mow the lawn.
I don't
like-
think code.
Well, because the
code
last time I
enforcement
was there, the fence was
headstones.
falling down and the
Right.
grass was 2 feet
Which is
tall. so-
probably why they took the fence down.
Because they
Yeah.
couldn't mow, okay. I
Yeah,
haven't been there in
yeah.
I haven't either.
half a year.
That was long.
It's probably smaller than my lot, like it's not any bigger than a standard
Yeah.
house lot.
I'll bring pictures. I'll go there and take pictures, or you could take
I
pictures
walk my
at the
dogs
next
there every
meeting.
day.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy to do it.
And just so you could get an idea,
Yeah.
it is fallen into disrepair.
So it goes, Templeton is the main road in and out of the neighborhood. I think it's Chaparral is where Terry Lynn's building his house, and then it's a horseshoe.
Yeah.
And the cemetery is on this part of the
Right.
horseshoe
Yeah.
in the back. And like I
By
said,
the
it's
creek.
just a small part of that lot.
Yeah, it's very small.
Yeah, I remember John talking about because it's in a floodplain and we don't know how the crypts were buried and all that,
It
how.
doesn't matter. It's
I know.
it's
Still
historical to the
yeah.
city. And we should be looking at taking care of it,
It
in
makes-
my opinion.
Well, it makes me sad to see a cemetery that nobody's
Exactly.
taking care of. But, I
Yes.
mean, there are people there and,
Yeah.
respect the people who are there.
And it's part of Adams Branch.
Yeah. Although if you've been to the Webb Chapel Cemetery, I mean.
It's well, but it has an endowment.
Mhm.
Yes, it does. It does. And, I mean, it's just, we need to take care of the history.
Mhm. So how does this work? Do I have to make a motion to put it on the future agenda or
No,
you just
you're
put it on the
done.
agenda? Okay,
Okay, I didn't know.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, it is 7:10. We are going to adjourn the meeting.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Sorry I was late. It's a crazy day.